15 degrees outside, and I personally didn't want to wake up today. But, I mean, someone's got to bring home the beef stew. My name, my job. Got it. Hey y'all, I'm Vaughn. I'm a video journalist for NYT Cooking, and today I just had a hankering for beef stew. So there's this kind of like running joke about Molly O'Neill's iconic beef stew in the NYT Cooking family, because it is without a doubt our perennial most popular recipe. It's always beef stew, like in the top 5. But one of the best things about this recipe is its comments section. Wherever like your inspiration's taking you, just like let it soar with this beef stew. It's a perfect blank canvas. So today I'm gonna be making the classic old-fashioned beef stew one time through as written, and I'm gonna make it again based off your suggestions, and I'll see which one I like better. So the beautiful thing about this recipe is that it comes together really fairly easily, and in about a couple hours you've got a great stew. The active time is very minimal in this recipe. Once I'm done kind of getting these into the size that I want, I'm gonna add some flour and some pepper. The flour is to not only help thicken the stew, but to help create a crust on it. And I'm just gonna get in there with my hands and kind of coat everything. So I added the beef in batches. So you can see I've got my beef there. That's browning, that's almost done, ready for batch 2. The really important thing with browning, you don't want to overcrowd the pot. Once the second batch gets brown, then it's time to deglaze with a little bit of red wine vinegar, some red wine, and then it's party time. That's pretty. That looks like Jupiter or something. Still no salt. A little sus, but that's okay. Beef back. Nice. Bring this to a boil, it says. So now we just wait. You know, now all I gotta do is let that simmer for about an hour and a half. And then after that, I add some onions, some carrots. I'm gonna let those soften for about 10 minutes. Add potatoes, let those cook for about 30 minutes till they cook through. And then I think we season it and we're ready to eat. We haven't seasoned it with any salt yet, and it's like going for an hour and a half. And I do think that there is some reasoning behind that. I think that as things thicken and as they simmer for a long time, that salt flavor can get really concentrated. So if you're seasoning for taste before you go for like a long, slow simmer, it's gonna end up tasting saltier at the end of your simmer, because like a lot of that water cooks out, but the sodium still stays the same. Well, getting there. Everything is tender, and then I think I'll be good to serve it up and try the beef stew for the first time. Well, you know, not my first time ever having. A couple hefty glugs of salt, pepper. That's so good. I look like I'm like interrogating myself. Like, this is what beef stew should taste like, right? It's like, you know, it's like the beef stews that I grew up with. But I could eat this all day long. Probably will. It's really good. I'm excited to make it even better. And that's the great thing about NYT Cooking, wink wink, is that people can leave comments and say what they think, say what they want to change about a recipe. I'm going to use some of those comments. Let's see. Ooh, herbe de Provence. Yes, I'm gonna use some herbe de Provence. And I'm going to speak in a French accent for the rest of this video. Herbe de Provence, tomato paste, shallot, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, thyme, peas, balsamic vinegar. If you do those things, it comes out superb, balanced, and to die for. You know, I'm gonna do just that. I'm not gonna add peas. So I got some short ribs here. You can see like there's more fat, more marbling. The short ribs weren't that much more expensive, to be honest, and they're going to impart a lot more of like a beefy kind of flavor. I do think you can get a lot more flavor, seasoning it all the way through so that it has more layers of flavor. Another comment that I noticed from a lot of people was to double the amount of meat. I wanted the stew to be a little bit beefier. Herbe de Provence. Taking it out. Oh, wow. I got these really cutie little fingerling potatoes for my fancy version. There is more skin on these. There's a greater skin to flesh ratio. I really love when you like bite into a potato, especially in a stew, and it's got like kind of a pop. So that's what I was looking for. They're just so cute. I'm obsessed, you know? Like, that looks and smells so good. Oh, sure the red potatoes we put through. The meat is like so tender. It's giving braise where I wanted to give stew. So I think I am gonna add a little bit of this cornstarch. We're gonna boil it just to make sure that the cornstarch kind of activates. Y'all, that's bonkers. That's really good. Ooh. It's so hot. I just got that potato pop. I love it. There are just more flavors going on. There's more depth in there, but there's also just more flavors in general. These short ribs are just like a whole, you know, and they're in a league of their own. Tom Hanks? Gina Davis? This was just really fun to see how our readers engage with our recipes, especially this recipe, which is arguably the most iconic recipe that we have. It's just also an important lesson too. Like, read the comments before you make the recipe, because you might be like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, or see that you could change something. I am here to say, the original, if you make it, you're not gonna be disappointed. The newfangled version, if you make it, you're not gonna be disappointed. You can't go wrong either way. There's just more than one way to stew a beef. What? No, there's no beef stew for you.